Bear with me, Yaki. I'm in Akwaf. Let me see. Screen just froze on me. Okay. I'm gonna have to run it like that. Hey, Shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, shalom, beloved Akiyam and Akwaf. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power. Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to tap into a brief lesson, isolating the reality of this digital civic indoctrination that Evil E is moving forward with. I have a clip from Senator Bernie Sanders. Pretty much he's talking to that talking point, in regards to, the oligarchs, as, these people believe them to be, guys of the like of Elon Musk and Bezos and them. Nah, it goes beyond them. All right, but needless to say, what we're witnessing, all right, is a digital Tower of Babel, man. All right, being erected, real time. All right, a digital Renaissance period, man. Bringing so Esau can continue his reign of terror. All right, because when you go back in time, let's go back in time real quick before we tap into this video. And as a matter of fact, let me see something real quick. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let me see here. Yeah, let's go to, actually, I want to get this definition. Matter of fact, let's get this definition of civic indoctrination, right? So when you get this term, right, civic indoctrination, right? Civic indoctrination is a deliberate process, right, of socializing individuals into the specific values, principles, and norms of a given political regime, whether democratic or authoritarian, bro. And in this case, it's authoritarian. all right? And we in the form of these technocrats, right? Which is obviously they're puppets of the global elite. You know, the international banking families are moving forward with this plan. Listen, often by teaching them to accept those beliefs without critical analysis or the consideration of alternative viewpoints, bro. Now, when you get digital civic indoctrination, it's pretty much the same thing, but check it out. Can be defined as deliberate, systematic process, often led by a regime or authority, all right, to socialize individuals into an ideal type citizen who supports the specific values, principles, and norms of that governing body, right? Through the through pervasive use of digital technologies and media. And this is why, like, the children rely on technology, man. An average child, you know, this Generation Z or what have you, hey, they're completely self-reliant on technology, bro. You know, this is the worst generation of them all. You know, because this is the time where, as scriptures tell us, that knowledge will be increased. Matter of fact, let me get that. I'm just going through the spirit. Let's go here. The book of Daniel, chapter 12. Right? And I want to start from verse 1 and I'll jump down. Right? Daniel chapter 1 and verse 12, and it reads, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, bro. And this is talking to Jacob's trouble, right? Even to that same time. But Jacob's trouble is everybody's trouble, right? Let's elaborate on that. And that's one thing that individuals have to understand. Jacob's trouble, yeah, it's going to rest upon, you know, you Israelites. But you better believe, bro, the reflection of that trouble is gonna also touch everybody else on this planet Earth, bro. See, Jacob's trouble is everybody's trouble, man. All right, but check it out. The elect is going to be preserved through it. But look it. Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book, right? The book of life. You can read about in Revelations. The elect are going to be delivered from this time of trouble, even through death. Now, jumping down to the point, right? Verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. And we're at the end, right? This is why the seals have been loosed. This is why we have the breakdowns of Revelations that your pastor was once telling you. The book was sealed, all right? But here it is. Our elder apostles are breaking down Genesis 1. I'm sorry, from Genesis, that's the spirit. From Genesis 1, right, to Revelations, the 22nd chapter, bro. All right? Let's go. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. All right, which ultimately the knowledge being increased is going to be through technology. All right, and evil E, right, is going to be in a position where he's exercising that knowledge, man. All right, in the form of science, right, in the form of AI, right, and he's going to be pushing the narrative in these latter days that's likened unto the Tower of Babel, right? This is why we liken to what he's doing as the digital Tower of Babel, because he's doing the same thing the heathen tried to do back then. Matter of fact, let's go get that. Where is that at? Genesis 11. Yeah, here we go. As a matter of fact, let me start in chapter 10 real quick, if I may. Right? Because we can build up to it so we can get some context of who was leading this charge. Bear with me, Yaki Amanakwath. Here we go. The book of Genesis chapter 10 and verse 8. Right? And Cush, all right, beget Nimrod. All right? He began to be a mighty one on the earth. All right, hold on for 1 second. Give me a second, Aki Amanakwa. This phone's acting kind of funny. Let me see here. Boom. Let's try this again. All right, here we go. All right, let's get that again. The book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one on the earth. All right, and Nimrod's name, let me go get it. If I'm not mistaken, it means rebellion. Let's go get this real quick. Genesis 10, blue letter. I had to jump to the blue letter. Let me get this brother. Let me get old boy's name.
5248. Nimrod.
Right, and in the Hebrew, it looks like it's Gamawada. So Gamawada is how you say his name in the Paleo, right? Nimrod, Gamawada, right, which means rebellion, bro. Khan, see? Rebellion or the valiant. You see? And this is the same spirit, all right, that Esau pushes, that rebellious spirit, evil E. You see? The son of Cush, grandson of Ham, right? All right, now these were Hamites, right? But we know Esau has adopted the ways of the Hamites, bro. All right? Esau and Ham are the worst. All right, when it comes to witchcraft, odious works, rebellion. All right, they're the two worst. Wisdom of Solomon 12. Right? But let's go back. Bear with me, Yakiyam. That was just for some edification so we can get some information on that. Continuing on in Genesis 10 and 9. He was a mighty hunter, right before the Lord Yahweh. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter, before the Lord Yahweh, right? And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. Okay? All right? The beginning of his kingdom was Babel, bro. And Iraq and Akkad and Kalah and the land of Shinar. Now, real quick, when you go, and we should know this, but for new listeners, you know, that may not know. When you get Babel, what's it going to? Baby, this phone is acting crazy, bro. Why is this phone doing that? Anyways. Khan, so, yep, when you get Babel, listen.
Strong's H894. Bavel.
Right. Well, Babala, from what I can see. But anyways, when you get, right, Babel goes into what? Babel or Babylon, right? Listen, confusion by mixing, all right? And this is the same spirit that Esau has brought to the daughter of Babylon. He's operating in that same spirit. All right, this is why you have all these mixed cultures here. All the people are mixed in. All right, different philosophies. You know, you can come to Babylon the Great and do what you want. You can be what you want, be who you want, act how you want, live how you want, think how you want. Okay, right? It's just it's mass confusion. You see? But look, check this out though. We're coming to the point. Right, let's continue on. Right, now let me jump, right? Now let me jump to the 11th chapter. Let's jump on over now. And we'll start from the top. Genesis 11 and 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, and this is talking about the son of men, right? The heathen. As they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, right? And they dwelt there, right? And remember, Shinar was part of the land that was owned, all right, if I'm not mistaken, by Nimrod. It says Shinar in the 10th verse of the 10th chapter, right? So he was on his, you know what I mean, some land he had already conquered. He already had that land under possession, but this is what they decided to do, right? And they said they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they've had brick for stone and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, right? And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth, bro. You see? So this was the an act of rebellion by these heathen. They've always operated in this one world mindset, right? Where they could be like gods on the earth, bro. This is why they want to build up high, right? The same spirit as Esau. That's why he dwells high. He that dwells in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, right? Look, but anyways, and the Lord Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. You see that? So this was the heathen have always tried to have some type of one world order. You know? This is how the heathen be. They're rebellious, bro. Right? And that's why it's no coincidence we see that same thing happening again. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Right? What is then is now. It's happening all over again. This time the worst of the heathen is trying to do it. All right? And that's evil E, the son of perdition. All right? And he's trying to do this thing digitally. All right? As we're witnessing. You see? Which, as you heard from the demon, one of the demons themselves, Yuval Noah Harari, he said, listen, previous empires didn't have the technology we got. You know? And we can make God as mad as we want. You know? We don't have to worry about a drought. We can make our own water. These niggas are on another level of rebellion now. Okay? But that's why the Lord's going to meet them at the crossroads, bro. You know, just like he's met all these other, let's read. All right, just like he met these niggas then, he's going to meet these niggas now. Look. And the Lord Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord Yahweh scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city, bro. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai stopped that shit. All right, he stopped them. He stopped them heathen in their tracks, bro. You know, and it's a very abridged version of, you know, you can only imagine how it's abridged. You know, you got to be in the spirit. But the point blank period, the Lord stopped them. And just like how we stopped them then, he's going to stop them now. Now, real quick. I should probably, let me get that clip real quick. Let me see here. Let's get this real quick. Hey, and this is fair use. I'm not making any monetary gain off of this clip. It's from CNN, which, you know, we usually don't use mainstream like that. But hey, you know, we'll get in where we fit in. You know, some things that are said we can utilize. We can, you know, be edified through the spirit and pretty much, you know, watch our enemy, man. Put the scope on them. All right, now again, this is Senator Bernie Sanders. You know, got some things to say, but check it out. Bear with me.
The rise of artificial intelligence, or AI, is sparking fears that welcome back. The rise of artificial intelligence, or AI, is sparking fears that AI could put millions of Americans out of work. One study by MIT found that AI could replace 1/10 of the U.S. workforce right now. My next guest says it is long past time for Congress to act. Joining us now, Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Senator, you are not known for mincing words on any subject, and you certainly haven't minced them about what you call the unprecedented threats posed by AI. What are you most specifically fearful of?
Fearful of what, Jake? This is the most consequential technology in the history of humanity. It will transform our country. It will transform the world. And we have not had in Congress, in the media, and I'm glad you're doing this show, or among the American people, the kind of discussion that we need. Some examples. First of all, who is pushing this revolution in technology. It is the richest people in the world. Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Peter Thiel. Multi.
And you know we got to intercept them there. You know we gotta come through. We read the play. We got to intercept them there. Because those are just smoke screens. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and the rest of them that you see on the mainstream. Them are just, and we know this. I'm speaking to the choir, but I'm just being vocal on it. We gotta stand on that. We gotta make that point. No, those are just tentacles that are being controlled by the international banking families, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, the Rothschild. They're the ones controlling this thing. The ones you don't see, that are in the shadows, that our beloved King Warrior David prophesied about. Let me just get this real quick. Come on now. That's who's controlling this thing. All right. These other cats are just, they're there to sow confusion. And I'm going to let that video play, but the spirit hit me. Let me just get this real quick. I'll make it quick. I don't even got time like that. Let me just get this real quick, though. Bear with me. The book of Psalms, right? The book of Psalms, chapter 64 and verse 1, and it reads, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, right? Our beloved King Warrior Prophet, right? Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my... Forgive me, Yaki, I got a phone call. Salakia. Let me make sure that's still running. Make sure this live still going. Salakia for that. Let me just confirm this live still streaming properly. Let me just confirm this live. Okay, yep. So we're going. So boom. So as I was saying, let's back to the book of Psalms real quick. The spirit hit me to get this real quick. The book of Psalms, chapter 64 and verse 1, and it reads, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right, now, we're talking about the secret counsel of the wicked. All right, a secret counsel is a counsel that the masses don't know about. All right, and there was once a time where they were able to hide themselves. Okay, the Illuminati, right? It was a mysterious group of oligarchs that nobody knew about. God damn, so like getting a little too excited. But we're in a time now where they're being revealed. You see, now this secret counsel, they're now being brought into the forefront through the Spirit, right? Through the men of the Lord, bringing forth the reality, like what we're doing right now. The reality is being made of what's really going on here. And again, this dude, the Senator Bernie Sanders, this nigga got a guy going on him. You think he can say what we're saying? He'll be sniped tonight. That nigga will get sniped tonight if he made the mention who really controlling this thing. So he's part of the smokescreen. You know what I mean? But that's how Esau rose, just like in the when the serpent beguiled Eve, right? He said some truth, but most lies. And that's how the serpent moves. But anyways, all right, let's continue on with the clip. So yeah, man, no. Hey, the international banking families are controlling this thing. All right, they're acting as puppeteers. Utilizing their various tentacles, which come in the form of these individuals that the world thinks are the richest in the world. No, fuck a billionaire. Yo, these global elite are so rich, it's liquid, man. They own people, land, everything, bro. They're making money. They're making the money, is what I meant to say. Like making it, like you make some food, okay. You can't put you can't really even put a price tag on them. But anyway, let's go. That's who's controlling this thing. But let's let this video play. I'm gonna let it run.
Welcome back. The rise
Bear with me.
of artificial intelligence or
We're not gonna
AI
start that
is
from the
spark-
beginning. We're gonna-
and you certainly haven't minced them.
Consequential technology in the history of humanity. It will transform our country. It will transform the world. And we have not had in Congress, in the media, and I'm glad you're doing
I'm gonna let this run.
show, or
Well,
among
well.
the American people, the kind of discussion that we need. Some examples. First of all, who is pushing this revolution in technology? It is the richest people in the world. Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Peter Thiel. Multi-billionaires are pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into implementing and developing this technology. What is their motive? Do you think they're staying up nights worrying about working people and how this technology will impact those people? They are not. They are doing it to get richer and even more powerful. That's issue number one. Who is pushing this technology? What does that mean for all of us? Number two, economically. This is what Elon Musk, putting hundreds of billions of dollars into the technology, says, quote, AI and robots will replace all jobs. Working will be optional, end quote. Bill Gates, hundreds of billions of dollars into this technology, quote, humans won't be needed for most things. Well, I got a simple question. If there are no jobs and humans won't be needed for most things, how do people get an income to feed their families, to get health care, or to pay the rent? There's not been one serious word of discussion in the Congress about that reality. Issue number three. Studies out there tell us what we all know to be true. Young people now are spending an enormous amount of time with AI. There are kids who are now getting most of their emotional support from AI.
Yeah.
If this trend continues, what does it mean over the years when people are not getting their support, their interaction from other human beings, but from a machine? What does that mean to humanity? And maybe last but not least, I did a symposium at Georgetown with Jeffrey Hinton, who is considered to be the godfather, Nobel Prize winner of AI. He thinks that AI is soon going to be smarter than human beings. So the science fiction fear of AI running the world is not quite so outrageous a concept as people may have thought it was. Those are some of the issues that are out there.
On the subject of the replacement of millions of jobs, I want to play something that the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, said last month about that topic.
AI is the most profound technology humanity is ever working on, and it has potential for extraordinary benefits, and we will have to work through societal disruptions. It will create new opportunities. It will evolve and transition certain jobs, right? And people will need to adapt.
Now, the way he talks about it is, this is happening, and we, humanity, need to figure out how to adapt to it.
Right? While they make huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things I think we need to do, and right now, among many other things, we're seeing data centers sprouting all over the country, raising electric bills for people in the communities, etc. I think we need to be thinking seriously about a moratorium on these data centers. Frankly, I think you got to slow this process down. It's not good enough for the oligarchs to tell us it's coming, you adapt. What are they talking about? They're going to guarantee health care to all people? What are they going to do when people have no jobs? What are they going to do? Make housing free? So I think we need to take a deep breath, and I think we need to slow this thing down. One way to do it would probably be a moratorium on data centers.
The CEOs would no doubt say you would be stifling entrepreneurship and innovation.
Well, I look at it a little bit differently, and I think as a nation, as a world, we have got to do it. Is technology bad? Of course it's not. There are good aspects, bad aspects. The function of technology must be to improve life for human beings, not make Musk and Zuckerberg and Bezos even richer than they are. So let us work together to say, okay, if technology is going to radically improve worker productivity, are we going to reduce the work week substantially, making sure that workers continue to get the same pay?
Right.
If workers are thrown out on the street, how are they going to have health care? Obviously, Let's guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right, etc.
So you talked about a moratorium on these new data centers.
Yeah.
What are some of the other recommendations you want Congress to take as soon as possible?
I think we need to vigorously study the impact that AI is having on the mental health of our country. Kids now, among other things, kids can't read books anymore. It's too hard. Their attention span is too weak. So what we need to do is, I worry very much about kids spending their entire days getting emotional support. So we have got to take a hard look at that. And if we conclude that these technologies are creating more isolation, more loneliness, more mental illness, you know what? We got to figure out a way to stop it.
So the
Real quick, and that's tapping into that digital civic indoctrination. And you see Esau as he's honing in on the new generation to the point where now these children, they can't even, they have their attention span is so short, they can't even sit down and read, man. No, they need everything to just be digitized, bro. So the Esau's already transforming them. You see, and he's forcing the rest of us to feed into this new narrative, man. All right, and it's not, you heard him, you heard what he said? Oh, we can work together and try to see how it's gonna be able to help, humans. Nah, that's not their plan. No, that's not their plan. Their plan, and you see all the heathen are tied in. All the heathen are on the same agenda, pushing this AI technology, bro. Because at the end of the day, Psalms 83, first and foremost, all right, they're confederate against us and our power. These elite know who we are. All right, and the goal ultimately is for Esau to steal back that birthright. That's his mission right now. That's his main mission. As much as we see everything going on the planet Earth, these skirmishes in Western Asia, all right, these various other talking points, and distractions that Esau's pushing out here, these smoke screens. At the end of the day, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man in the form of the global elite, they're gunning for the birthright. This is what they're gunning for. All right, and this man is going to come down with great wrath. And that Georgia Guidestone, right, that they blew up in hopes that people will forget about it, is what they're going to be, measuring this new rulership by. All right, they got to delete a lot of people. Their goal is to delete a lot of people, bro. And utilize what's that? What the yellow list? Those that are completely you Akiam know what I'm talking about. Those of you know. They're gonna utilize that yellow list. Those that they can stretch out like Gumby and make do what they need them to do. You see, with no resistance. Okay, but this is what we're witnessing. All right, and they're using, and Esau's using all types of tactics, right, to get you to comply, man. Now, real quick, I want to run this back real quick, right? Bear with me. Right, this right, digital civic indoctrination. I want to run this back real quick. Can be defined as a deliberate, systematic process, often led by a regime or authority, right? And then we know it's being ran by the authoritarians, right, in the form of the global elite. Look, to socialize individuals into an ideal type citizen who supports the specific values, principles, and norms of that governing body through the pervasive use of digital technologies and media. All right? So Esau is working his witchcraft, bro. All right, to work on the minds of these people, to have them pretty much be desensitized to the reality of what he's bringing upon them, bro. And at the end of the day, all you people, most of you people are going to comply, right? The elect for sure ain't. You see? And those of you that want to resist, hey, the Lord's Esau is going to meet you halfway with a sword. Right, real quick, let's get this real quick. Ezekiel, but he will be stopped at the end. Ezekiel 28, right? In verse 1, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, and Esau is likened unto the prince of Tyrus. Why? Let's keep reading. Thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, because thine heart, his mind, is lifted up. All right, just like the heathen back in the time when they built the Tower of Babel. Why do you think they wanted to build it up to the heavens? All right, that was a proud stance they were making. But anyways, check this out. Whose heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power. I sit in the seat of power in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not power. Though thou set thine heart, your mind, Lob, as the heart, as the mind of power, bro. All right, and we see, and again, Esau's exercising this mindset, this behavior at an all-time high. All right, being that he's been granted access, all right, to technology, man. A quantum computer, right? Palantir. You know, this nigga's been exposed to all types of technology, bro. He's been opened up to the realms of wisdom, you know, that no other heathen empire has been able to been opened up to. All right, because we're at that point, we're at the pinnacle. All right, as we read in Daniel 12, knowledge has increased. We're at the pinnacle of the heathen empires, of the heathen empires, you know, and of the wisdom they're going to be have access to. You see? Check this out. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee, right? And then again, through the technology, right? Through this technology, he's able to surveil you. And that's another big thing that Esau's going to be putting, that he's pushing out. Surveillance. All right, it's all about surveillance, man. All right, that's part of him being like a god. All right, and when this dude ushers forth, or mandates, I should say, rather, this MOTB, because this is where all roads end. All right, at the end of the day, that MOTB, you know, at that point, Esau has put himself on the level of a god. Because now he can control all your access points. He knows what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Okay? He literally has you in the palm of his hand. All roads lead to the MOTB. As a matter of fact, let's close out with that. Revelations 13. That's the spirit. Might as well. Right? It's all related. Right? This is where all roads lead. Look at Revelations 13. This is what this technology is about. You know? At the end of the day, that's what's coming. And it's going to be, this is why they're pushing those data centers. Bernie Sanders mentioned it. The data centers are sprouting up everywhere. Yeah, because Esau's in the process of perfecting his infrastructure, 6G, all right, and beyond, to be able to pretty much have a functioning digital society, man. Look, right, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, and it reads, and he, who? Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man in the form of the global elite. All right, that's that he. Right, and he causeth all, both small and great, right, old and young, right, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, the charagma, the device the size of a grain of rice. That's what this is talking to, the RFID microchip. All right, this mark, when you go into it, it goes into an idolatrous image. It goes into an etching. You see, it has to go under the skin. It's subdermal. Right? It's not the image. It's not the. It's not sleeping with white woman. It's not an embargo. It's not sin. Okay. And it's not something you won't know what it is, but God knows your heart. And if He knows your heart, no, man. It's the RFID microchip. All right. The device the size of a grain of rice. That's what it is. Look, let's continue on. I'm gonna read it from the top. Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, all right, old and young, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, the charagma, right, in their right hand or in their foreheads, bro. And it can go in either hand, anywhere in your body. All right, for you, Jake, that want a yikwab, right? And again, it says in their foreheads, right? The Neuralink is on the scene. They got to pierce your brain with that, bro. Okay? Yeah, the MOTB is on the scene on all fronts. Tell me your prophecy's not speaking, man. Look it. And we'll leave it here. And that no man might buy or sell, showing you that it's economically tied, okay, to the monetary system. Look it. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast or the number of his name, which is synonymous. All right, the name and the number. All right, yeah, we're going to close out in a second anyway. Salaki, I got another phone call. Golly. Let me just double back and make sure the live stream is going still. I got another phone call, Salakia. Let me see here. We're wrapping up anyways. So I'll do the spirit. See here. Yep, we're good. We're wrapping up. So boom. So as I was saying, all right, the name and the number of the beast is synonymous. All right, the name, the number is going to be on the chip in the form of the universal product code, right? 666, which when we read the next verse, right, that's the name. That's the name of the number of a man. You see? Now let's continue on, right? Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Side stigma, bro. Okay, which is gonna tie you right into that etching, that implantable device. You see? And that's the reality of this thing, bro. And this is where it's going. All roads lead to the MOTB, bro. As far as this whole AI and digital technology stance that this nigga's taking. Right? But we're fully aware of what this man's doing. And we understand that at the end of the day, he's going to be stopped either way. Right? But he is going to desperately try and erect this digital empire. Right? Because he knows this is his only way out. All right? July 4th marks the 250th year. All right? Of Babylon the Great. You see? For those that like to measure between 1776 to next year, to this year, July. But you got some of these Edomites that measure it from the time of Cristobal Colon. All right, which marks over 500 years of this nigga being around on this side of the hemisphere, man. All right, which you know, man, hey, Esau's on borrowed time. All right, Esau's on borrowed time, man. But yeah, man, hey, Lord willing, you beloved Akim and Akwath were edified, Abaratazah. You know, you were spiritually fed, and Lord willing, you were informed. All right, hey, Esau's moving. All right, he's on the move. He's moving without any type of wisdom. You know, he's predictable now. You know, he lost control of all narrative. We know this, right? And ultimately, hey man, he's at the point now where he's leaning on that sword. And it's only a matter of time, all right, that you know, Jacob's trouble just sprouts into perfection. You know, because Esau can't drag his feet anymore, man. And we see the prophecy, World War III prophecy moving, right? And with that prophecy moving, we know that chronologically, Jacob's trouble and the MOTB must come first. All right, so it's only a matter of time, bro. You know, it's only a matter of time. 2026 is gonna be something. It's something to remember. All right, and Lord willing, it's this year. We'll see. You know, the beloved elder Apostle Tahar titled, likened this year unto what? The year of apostasy, sellouts, and agents. And we're seeing that manifest in its perfection at this point. We're just seeing that. It's happening, bro. You know? But anyways, man, hey, prophecy speaking, hey, we got to keep watching, right? Stay prayed up, fast as well as pray. You know, stay humble. You know, stay humble. You know, that's critical. Stay humble and stay in the fear of the Lord, man. Lord willing, he keeps us, man. It's happening. It's happening right before our eyes, man. What a beautiful time to be alive, man. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wedash. Hey, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, Lord willing, you beloved Akim and Akwath were edified. Hey, till next time, beloved Akim and Akwath, Shalom.